Welcome back to the Garth Riley Show, Part 2, sitting with Linda Patterson Kelly, talking about the legal system when it comes to family courts, the family court stories, family court issues. She's a barrister and solicitor and has dedicated her practice to working with people that need to be represented. And boy, you have no shortage of clients.
Never.
Does this surprise you?
No. It's so hard to deal with these issues on your own.
Going back to before we went to break, we talked a little bit about collaborative law. We talked in the other segment, and I think you made a really good case for it. People may be apprehensive, and they can send you an email. But now we want to talk about this idea of breaking the bank. People go and they say every time you go to court, you put another lawyer's kid through school.
You can.
But where does it come? Where one party wants to be amicable, says, okay, let's work this through. The other one is like, no, I'm going to take you right through the ringer, and I'm going to use everything in the system I can to mess you up. You run into those.
Then gird your loins because the game's on.
What does it feel like when you run into that?
Oh, it's so sad. I try to get a four-way meeting at some point in time so we can try and put across the issue that, look, that we're spending money that we don't have to spend. Let's negotiate, let's isolate the issues, let's talk about, at least let's find some common ground on certain issues. There's certain things you have to be you got to get some common sense about. And children are the one, it's got to start there. You've got to sit down and be good parents to your kids. And when you start talking about being good parents to your kids, not a good mom and a good dad, but being good parents to your kids, then you have to start thinking about it, okay, well, I have to be a parent and not just a mom.
Do you find that's a game changer? When people finally realize that way you phrased it?
Well, you ask them about their own families. How do they feel about their own parents? And sometimes you can get some insight into the fact that they may have inbred problems that they've grown up with that are advancing the problems in the marriage.
Right. I mean, it's like they're dragging it in through because that's their experience.
Right, sometimes.
Okay. When you have a spouse, let's sort of go a little rapid fire if we can. When you have a spouse that, male or female, your husband or wife, that is, just game on, and they are, they have the power, they have the money, they have the resources to be able to stick this one out, and the other one, maybe not so much.
Well, sometimes people have to apply for legal aid and go for it. If you haven't got the resources, you apply to legal aid. I believe it's an 866 number, and you can look it up, you can go online, you can make an application. And it's very unfair in the sense that a legal aid certificate gives you 12 hours, and then you can apply for more assistance after that, but it's a process, it's not a guarantee.
So my look is like what? 12 hours.
12 hours.
It's like, it's like overnight parking.
I know. And those of us that will do legal aid, which I highly, highly praise all the lawyers that will agree to do legal aid work, because you're doing it at a vastly reduced price, and you are getting as many problems as if you were being paid $750 an hour. So it's hard work, but it's important work. And then once you get yourself a lawyer, you can at least then get in there and have a chance.
Some people would say that, legal aid or lawyer couldn't make it in the big leagues anyways.
Oh, absolutely not. We have duty counsel lawyers at the courthouses. Every courthouse in Ontario will have some duty counsel at the family law area. The ones that I know of are senior lawyers who are dedicated. They give some of their time, it's not all of your practice, it's some of your time, and it's super important work because these people come and they'll come into the courthouse. They haven't got a clue. They don't know how to do their documents. They're terrified. They need some help, and they'll get a lawyer that day appointed to them, and they'll get to tell their story and get some assistance in in information what path to start taking. And then if they will qualify for legal aid, then they'll get a referral to go to legal aid and make application. And
So it's actually kind of important. We've kind of gone off a bit, but let's maybe just review
it's
quickly.
really
It
important.
is really important. So if someone's really confused, doesn't know what they can do, they're feeling intimidated, lost, understands they're in this predicament,
Yep.
they can go to a courthouse and talk to a duty lawyer.
Most courthouses have a family law information center.
So let's say I'm John Q. Public and I have this issue and I'm like, I walk in.
You walk in, there's usually specific times. I know in the Barrie Courthouse we have specific times every day where you can see a lawyer, and there's usually a 3-hour span, and they'll sign up the first 12 people that come in, they'll sign them up and they get to see the duty counsel lawyer, and if there's not enough time that day, then they can book into another day. And they'll get advice. They'll get advice on their problem
And
right
it costs
away.
them nothing to get that.
Doesn't cost
So
anything.
that's duty counsel first. Then perhaps a
Legal aid lawyer?
legal aid lawyer will be assigned. Legal aid lawyers, I mean, you're busy. I mean, you do a lot of legal aid work.
I do. And I think it's really, really important. I think that we are offering society something that is desperately needed because people don't know how to behave in a courtroom.
Linda, I'm going to throw something at you here.
Sure.
You're not you're not charging. You're not getting paid $7.50 an hour. You're
Heck
not even
no.
getting $400 an hour. How do you sustain? How do you sustain on as a legal aid lawyer? I mean, the psychological payback is huge because you're doing something. You're stepping into the gap. But it's
Yeah.
got to be
Well,
tough. It's got to be tough for you to make it go.
We have to do other cases.
Right.
We have to do the other cases. And you have to do the collaborative. And
Do you like? You're a big fan. I could see in your eyes you're a big fan of collaborative law.
I was in the first group in Ontario that took the collaborative law training, and I think it's a magnificent way to go. The judges will tell you it's a great way to go.
It's going back now to coming back to where we were when we started off in this segment. You know, there's this now the game on, fights on in the courtroom. You know, one's well entrenched, the other one is floundering. Often you hear the case, and they're struggling. Because it's a legal aid lawyer, should a person thinking they're going in that you think that they don't have enough gas to finish this race?
Oh, no. You know what? We really need to thank legal aid. Because not every province has it. We need to be grateful that we've got the option. And your legal aid lawyer has resources that will assist the legal aid lawyer in getting information, in getting factums done, we can get help as a legal aid lawyer to help the case if we need that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we're blessed to have that system.
Well, we're going to go off to break. When we come back, talk about maybe, I know you can't talk about specific cases, but basically law has been written on stories that have happened before,
It
right?
has.
They call it precedent.
That's
So
right.
when we come back from break, let's talk a little bit about somehow how precedent, if you know the law well enough, can actually be to your advantage and to someone's frustration. So I have a couple things I'm going to throw at you. Ready?
Sure.
Sure. Next thing you know, I got the handcuffs. Stay with us. We'll be back with more of the family court issue show. We'll be right back.